Hello test, N4LQ. Old Friends Net on 160 meters, calling CQ the Old Friends Net 160. This is November 4 Lima, Quebec, Steve and Shelby. N4LQ is listening for check-ins. Yeah, we're on AM tonight. I think I heard Mir. Can you switch over to AM, Mir?
N4LQ, this is WF2U.
Okay, yeah. I'm getting you now. I switched over to upper sideband. That's how I copy you best on those boat rigs. Anyway, I'm on the Valiant tonight. I was trying to get the LASCO hooked up and working, but I was going to use it on 160. It does cover 160, but ran into a problem with some hum or something on the mic. So I'm going to have to revisit that. LASCO is, they had a design problem. The modulator, it's inside the cabinet, and the modulator is inside the cabinet, and it's got a 1/4 inch mic jack on the modulator. It's a separate chassis, but there's not enough room to plug it in, so you have to use a right angle 1/4 inch plug, or take the shell off of the plastic shell off the mic plug and try to cram it in there. And that's what I tried to do, but I thought I had an adapter somewhere, but I can't seem to find it. Anyway, so much for that brilliant idea. Anybody else ready to check in? Give me a call.
K4QE.
K4QE. Gotcha. How you doing, Tony?
I'm doing all right, Steve, but that broadcast station on the 1860 is actually louder than all of you.
Yeah, he's on here every Saturday night. I just basically turned the passband off down in that on the lower sideband. So I just, of course, you can do that on that icon. Just get hold of both knobs and crank them to the right. I think that's the way you do it.
Yeah, I just narrowed my passband up to 6 kilohertz, 3 on each side, and I can hear everyone okay.
Okay. Yeah, if you got an amplifier, it'd be good to run it tonight. Anybody else ready to check in? No, well, that's I guess that's it so far. Well, I'm running 115 watts carrier, and I don't know, I guess I could turn up the mic gain a little bit here on this thing. Maybe that would help some. Anyhow, man, it's cold out there, 34 degrees. Wanted to take a walk today, but I went out there and it was kind of breezy and it just didn't feel right. I just turned around and came back in the house. So, anyhow, over to you, Mayor. WF2U, N4LQ.
Yeah, N4LQ, this is WF2U. Well, I have something like 30, 40, about 40, 45 watt carrier, and
with an upswing. So that's what it is on upper sideband and the carrier. I haven't had time to check out the AL1200. That's why I'm not using that setup right now. And let's see. I actually could try the DX100, but I'm saving the tune. I kept it tuned up to 3715 for tomorrow, so I don't have to fuss with it. I want to do it, and maybe I'll do it. I'll retune it to 160. If I recall, the NC300 is not covering 160, so I'll have to use another receiver there. If I want to go on 160 with that. Anyway, conditions are not good at all because you're not very strong, and Tony is not very strong, but 100% copy. The signals are weaker than usual, and there is some QRM bleeding through. It's not very bothersome, but it's still there. And conditions were not great on 40 meters this morning on the Midwest Military Radio Collectors Group net. Although we were like 10 people from all over, but signals were not very strong. It was low noise, but not very good conditions either. So with that, I guess it goes to Tony, K4QE. Good evening. This is WFTU.
Okay. I'm not copying Mir very well at all, but I heard him turn it over to me. Unfortunately, I didn't hear what he said. I hope you can hear me, Mir. I'm running about 200 watts of carrier, 230 watts of carrier. That's about as much as I dare to run with this thing. I don't want to. This amplifier is. It works in AM, but I'm a little afraid of it in terms of running full legal limit AM. So I try to keep it a little bit below the limit. But because the temperature starts rising on it pretty rapidly when I run the legal limit, it shoots right up to near the limit of this amplifier. So anyway, that 18 station 60 is normally not this loud at night. It's not. Yeah, I have to talk today. That station on 1860 is not normally this loud. I'm a little surprised. I don't know where that guy's located, but boy, I tell you, I wish somebody would do something about that. When I first heard a carrier in that frequency, I thought it was a harmonic from one of the local broadcast stations, but it's not. So it's obviously a ham transmission. But wow, I tell you, I guess somebody wanted to take Glenn Bastard's place. There you go. All right, over to you, Steve, N4LQ from K4QE.
Tony, K4QE, N4LQ.
K4QE, N4LQ. I didn't have the mic squeezed in good enough. But, yeah, I copy you just fine. And what I'm doing is receiving on this plain old upper sideband. And that's totally cutting that guy out. I don't hear anybody. Just switch over to USB. And if you do that, I can copy you and so can Mir. So that'll work, and I'll just stay on sideband. I mean, on AM. Since I can't really do that with the Valiant. But it works pretty good. Let's see, Mir, Tony, I do a relay here for you. He's got a DX100 that he is prepared to use tomorrow on the Old Friends net at 4 o'clock on 3715. He's got it all tuned up, and he didn't want to mess it up. So, but it will cover this frequency, and I'm anxious to hear it down here too. And I guess I'll get to hear it tomorrow. and he's paired that up with an NC300, which he didn't think would cover this, but it does. So yeah, man, that's the dream receiver. That'll cover 160 just fine, dandy. So I would definitely just keep it that way. That's part of the fun of getting all these things tuned up. But the LASCO transmitter, I've got one of the rare ones, and if you ever saw a LASCO, it really looks like a boat anchor transmitter. It's got a huge planetary, I guess you'd call it a half moon dial or whatever, and it covers 160, 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10. And it's got a crystal jack on the front and the VFO. And let's see, the only tuning is on the front panel. It's the PA dip, and that's all you do is the PA tuning. The grid and all this stuff is pre-tuned. So I was getting 10 watts out of it, and that's plenty to drive the amplifier, and it would have been just fine, but something's going on with the hum, and I'll have to trace that down and get that fixed so I can use it tomorrow. And there goes the dogs. Anyhow, probably Amazon is supposed to make a delivery this evening. So over to you, Mayor. WF2U, N4LQ.
Yeah, okay, M4LQ. This is WFC. Well, not copying is mutual here with Tony, because he started out okay, and then he slipped under the noise and the QRM as he kept talking, and the last thing I heard is that he's not copying me too well. So, that's what it is. I have the feeling that conditions will improve as we go into like maybe towards 8:30 or so, and probably I'll hear him. The reason I forgot whether it's covering 160, I mean the NC300, is that station was dedicated to 3715. I didn't move it for years from that frequency. So occasionally I change bands, up and down a little bit on the NC300, so the contacts would work a little bit, but I wasn't even watching, and if you're saying that it works on 160, then definitely after the net sometime tomorrow, I'll play with it and see if I can tune it up on 160. I don't see any reason why not. If the receiver covers, then I don't even have to put another receiver in there. So, yeah, that should work out. Did you, I assume you received the video, the link to the video from Thursday evening, what you sound like on the Kenwood marine transceiver. So, Tony, let's try again, see if conditions are changing. K4QE, this is WF2U.
Okay, Mir, very good. Yeah, I switched over to upper sideband. I heard you 100%. So, very good. Yeah, I'm interested in hearing how your DX100 sounds when you get that up and going. As I mentioned, I have a couple of them here, and I haven't fired them up yet, but and I know that I've heard Cliff on his, and his sounds very, very good. I don't know who else on here has the DX100 besides the two of you, and of course myself. So interested in hearing how it sounds. And I also wonder if you made any modifications to yours, or if it is stock. So if you could clue me into that, I'd appreciate it. And back over to you, Steve. N4LQ in a group from K4QE.
Okay, this is N4LQ. Anybody else want to check in? Call now. Well, we keep trying. Anyway, so, Mir, were you able to copy Tony this time?
Yeah, Roger, I copied 100%.
Well, you guys, okay, got each other tuned in. I guess that's the secret. But, yeah, that upper sideband trick will do the job. It just cuts all that garbage out from down below us. And, of course, I'm doing both sidebands, but you only need to listen to one, I guess. I got the fan blowing on this poor old Valiant, trying to keep it cool. It kind of started stinking the other night. I thought something was going to burn up. I'm not sure what that was all about, but nothing changed. It still looks good. All the parameters look okay. So I don't know why it was smelling bad, but anyway, let's see. So Mir, Tony wanted to know if you made any mods to your DX100, and I did make one mod to this Valiant. I bypassed the clipper circuit, which consists of a tube and it's got an LC filter in it and all that, and I think it's best just to get rid of that. So all you had to do is move one capacitor, nothing to it, just bypassed it, and the control no longer works, which is just fine with me, but I think it actually introduces a little bit of distortion. Well, I'm pretty much done with the little LMAC power supply that I rebuilt for Lee, and I even put an LED power indicator on it. I had some of these 12-volt LEDs. Apparently they have a resistor built in them somehow. They just look like an LED, but somewhere in that little thing they put a resistor to drop it down so you can use 12 volts on it directly. And I drilled a hole, and I've got some little plastic LED holders that snap in, and then you just poke the LED in there, and they snap in. Boy, that made a nice little installation. And I just hooked that to the 12-volt AC filament circuit, and of course AC is fine on the LED. It just rectifies it and lights up. So that worked out good. So Mir, WF2U, N4LQ.
Yeah, Roger. N4LQ and I don't have to change it to sideband. I copy Tony right on AM. I never had to change to anything. This time I heard okay, it's not very strong, but 100% copy, and some stuff is bleeding through here, but not much right now, and I think signals are going to improve probably. And Tony, no, I didn't make any modifications, and it's not a DX100, it's a DX100 Bravo, and I got it with some modifications already from one of our old friends that old-time members, K4 Delta Echo Echo, Jim, and who sold it, and he did some modifications, which is push to talk, and he made the rectifier solid state, and he had put put a fuse in line with the high voltage transformer sensor depth as an overload protection, which tripped when I lost my antenna while in the middle of transmission, and I just got the replacement, plugged it in, and the transmitter is working just great. It was a little exercise because I had to pull it out of the cabinet, and it's guilty. I wanted to inspect everything just to see that nothing burned up, and nothing stinks, nothing is discolored, and it's all pristine, so I have no problems with it. Except for emission. I got exactly 100 watts carrier on 80 meters. I have, by the way, I have another DX100 that somebody in the Hamfest forced me to take. I was looking at it, and I figured maybe for parts or something if I need, and it was very grungy and dirty. It's an original DX100 with a cabinet that weighs a ton, and they said, well, I don't want to take it home, why don't you take it, as long as you're looking at it. How much you asking for it? It says take it. So I took it home, I opened it up except for a big layer of dirt. Everything is in there. There is no corrosion, it's just dirt. I don't know how so much dirt can accumulate of it. And I haven't touched it. I think I got it like 5 years ago or so. So it's just sitting here in a corner. Because I had some other priorities, fixing radios and stuff like that. Now it's probably time to haul in the Valiant and use that maybe on 160 because at least it has a little bit more power, so it's more effective. At least the DX100 for 3715 and just put another receiver with a Valiant, and I also have a Viking 2 which I could use with the VFO, but I have the original VFO for it. I just have to organize something because some of my shelves have just boxes on it, so I can't put radios. I have to go through all that stuff and stack it up in another corner, and I can put radios on those shelves. I'm very negligent with this because first I play with radios and organizing is like way on the bottom of the priorities. Only when I can't use something because it's so crowded next to it, that's when I start organizing and moving things. Anyway, so back to you, Tony. K4QE, this is WFPU.
All right, Mir, very good. Thank you very much. And yeah, copy that 100%. I understand that you have a DX100 Bravo as opposed to the plain Jane DX100s that I have. I know that the one that works that I have has had some modifications done to it. The modifications that I believe the guys call time was Alpha 8 Tango Victor. That are documented on the amphone.net website. So I don't think all of them have been done, but most of them have been done, as far as I can tell. So I think the only thing that he did not do was he did not replace the 5Z3 rectifier with a pair of solid state rectifiers. I might go ahead and do that, but everything else appears to be as he spec'd out in his mods list. So it already has the 5 Y3s have already been replaced with solid state replacements. and there's a number of other things that have been done to increase the modulator output and so on. So I do not know whether this rig has 6146s or 6146Bs in it. I know that you can put Bs in it as long as you re-neutralize it and get a little more juice out of the transmitter. And if it comes to it, I will do that. The other thing I wanted to tell you about was I recently found a modification kit, a True Blue Heathkit modification kit. It's a Mark III loading capacitor replacement. That's what it's called anyway. Essentially, you rip out the mechanism that's in there today with the coarse and fine loading capacitance mechanism, and you replace it with a single loading capacitor, a standard loading capacitor. That way you don't have to unkey the transmitter to switch the coarse load anymore. So I got that off of eBay for, I think it was about $70. It's brand new. It's supposed to be brand new in the box. I just got it delivered today. I haven't opened it yet. But that's how it was sold. And I got it from a guy in California. So we'll see how that goes. I looked at the instructions to install it. They're commonly found on the internet, and it's not too difficult to do. So I might just go ahead and do that. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I'll pass it over to you, Steve, N4LQ in a group from K4QE.
All right, K4QE, N4LQ. A little trouble getting my, I think the switch is still acting up on this, no, this is a different microphone. Huh. Yeah, that's not good. All right. Let me get back on frequency here. K4QE, N4LQ. Is there anybody else that would like to check in at this time? I didn't hear anything. Okay, well, you know, I saw that thing, that modification kit on eBay. I just about bought it because that's got to be extremely, extremely rare. And, of course, I guess it'll lose its value as soon as you put it in. But, yeah, I would do that, and then you can call it a DX100C or something like that for capacitor. And I guess that's supposed to help just 160? Is that what that's for?
No, it's just a replacement of the loading capacitor so that you don't have to have the coarse switch in there, because you know you can't hot switch the coarse switch; you're going to ruin it. So they replace it with a conventional loading capacitor, and that way you don't have to worry about hot switching it. Over.
Okay. I wonder if the same principle would work on the Valiant, because it's the same way. The coarse loading is just switching in a bunch of little mica capacitors. I'm not really too impressed with that. I'm not sure how much capacitance it takes. It takes up a lot of room, I guess. Boy, I don't know why they did that. It looks like just one big variable capacitor would have been great.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what it has now. Is just one. That's what it's going to have. Is just one big variable capacitor instead, and replacing the whole arrangement they have in there now. Did we lose you, Steve? Are you still there, Mir? WF2U, K4QE.
Oh yeah, I'm still here. I just didn't hear the last part when you turned it when he turned it over to me, because there was a little QRM that I got stronger and just said to you there. Yeah, so that's looking forward to tomorrow. I used that setup with the DX100B and the MC300 for at least 10 years. 10 years, let's see. At least 6-7 years. That's like 10, but a long time since I bought it from Jim. I had the receiver before, and I put that on in an operating position instead of an Apache, which is on my workbench. It has a little problem. I think I have to recapture the audio section because it has a squeal, like an audio feedback, but it's not from the microphone because it happens without it too. So I have to troubleshoot that, and that can work. So what I can do, as soon as I get the Apache ready, I can use that on the old trip and then use the DX100 on 160 until I get the Valiant in here. So that's another option. Then I have another project that I have to fix my VM.
Testing 1, 2.
High voltage also. So either one of them is shorted. I can see anything going on. So that's the heavy one. Usually the shack here is my weight, my radio. Everything that I have to move and put on the workbench or work on is quite heavy. So that's what's going on. The most important that I don't have the room. I have a real 500 watt AM transmitter, military one, a B268, and I don't have room right now between the aisles to push it in. It's on a dolly because it won't fit until I move stuff. But it's in the garage, so I have actually a Super Pro 400 in the garage also. I could use it there. It's just cold in the winter. So that would give me about let's see, about 400 watt carrier. Just go up to legal, let's say 350 watt carrier. And that would be good. That goes down to 160 also. So it starts at 1.5. Like too many radios, too little time, that's the problem. So okay, please look it up, and I wonder if anybody else is joining us in the meantime. M4LQ, WFU.
Okay.
Okay, the WF2U and 4LQ and the group and let's see if I had to change transmitters. I'm not sure what happened to the Valiant, but all of a sudden it was not giving me any plate current and no output, and but I had grid current, and so I shut it off and fired up the Viking 1. I'm on it now, and I unplugged the mic out of the Valiant and plugged it into this, and couldn't get any audio, so I got a different mic out and plugged it in, and it worked. So I'm beginning to wonder if I have two problems or what's going on, microphone and the rig. Anyway, I hadn't had this thing on for a while, and it's been neglected, I guess. Let me check. It looks like it's loaded up okay here, though, getting sufficient modulation, so I hope it's not flat topping too bad. I can hear the transformer talking in there just a little bit. I use an outboard VFO, of course. It's an old Globe or WRL made for a Globe King. Well, it seems to be fairly stable, as most of these old things are, on 160 at least. The only problem I've got with this microphone is the plug, for some reason, wants to pull out of the jack. It's one of those fancy gold-plated quarter-inch phone plugs, and it's real easy to plug in and out, but it's sometimes it comes out when I don't want it to. So I guess I need to change that out with a cheap one. Let's see. What was I going to ask you, Mir? Oh, I was going to ask you on that rig, Mir. When you're in the AM mode, do you receive both sidebands? And when you're in sideband mode, does it block out the lower sideband? I assume it does. So I just wondered if that's, I know you probably can't really control that from the front panel, but I just wondered if you receive both sidebands in AM mode. And so there you go. Tony, over to you, and let's see if anybody else wants to check in. N4LQ listening. All right, go ahead, Tony. K4QE, N4LQ.
All right, Steve, very good. Yeah, I was worried about you there for a minute. I stood by and obviously your transmission has dropped out. Well, you know that. So anyway, glad to hear you're back on the air. And whatever it is, I'm sure you'll figure it out. As I've heard mentioned many times on here and on 3885, taking care of these gold babies is half the fun. So there you go. You got some fun ahead of you. And I wish you luck. I'm interested in hearing what the final outcome is. So I've always enjoyed reading your stuff, Steve, and you always have some great things to contribute, and I, for one, greatly appreciate it. So, anyway, I'm going to step on out of here, guys. It's been a long day for me. I had a lot of things to do today, and I was able to get on here tonight, thank goodness, but my butt's dragging. So, I'm going to slip on out of here. It was great hearing both of you, and we'll catch you on here tomorrow night, I certainly hope. And over to you, Mir. This is K4QE.
Yeah, okay, very good, Tony. K4QE, this is WRCO. All right, let's answer you, Steve. I have to look at the schematic of the PKM 707, but let's say I have a wild guess that since the single sideband is generated, and that the carrier suppression is canceled, so it has full carrier. I assume it goes through it transmits upper sideband. I assume that it goes through that filter. I'm not sure, but I have to. But tomorrow I'll study the manual I'll blow it up on the big computer screen and concentrate in that area and see how that goes. But as I said, I assume it's the same filter. Although I don't know, but I strongly believe that it's the same filter. So, what else? Now, what's interesting is that, for example, on the SG-2000, which is also considered a marine radio because it also has the ITU marine channels pre-programmed in it, but it works by design on the ham bands also because you just recall a different set of bands from the memory. You have I can change on AM. I can change from upper sideband to lower sideband, at least on transmit. I assume it's also on receive, but I'll test it. But I know that I can do upper and lower sideband on transmit, either or. So that's all I know. So that's what it is. But you didn't answer. I don't know if you watched that video from Thursday that I recorded from this net. About 10 minutes of it, and you can hear yourself what it sounds like through the scan hood. N4LQ. Oh, so Tony 73, have a good night and take care. Hopefully you join us tomorrow, the old Transnet, at 4 o'clock on 80 meters. N4LQ, WF2U.
Okay, Mir, WF2U, N4LQ. Let me ask you this. Before anything else, and 73 is to you, Tony, if you have to leave. And I'm glad you can make it in tonight, as always. Appreciate that. And Mir, I want to ask you if the audio sounds any different. I am using a different mic. It's also a D104, but what's your opinion of the audio versus the Valiant on this Viking 1?
Well, can you do an 8? I think this sounds better. It sounds somehow crisper.
Yeah, well, that could be the mic. Hang on a second. Let me plug in this other mic and see if it'll work at all. I wonder what happened to it. Stand by. Hello. Well, there it goes, and now it's working. All right. Well, this is the mic that was plugged into the Valiant, and let's see. I think it's probably cranked up a little higher, but it's got a little higher modulation percentage, but doesn't seem to be flat topping. So this is this should sound like the Valiant did, at least the same mic, but for some reason now it works. I'm not sure what's going on. I got a little ghost running around here or something tonight. So what do you think? Over.
It sounds perceivably. Remember, I don't have the functioning S-meter here now for this. It sounds almost like a little hint of echo to begin with, unless it might be very sensitive or something, and it picks up some kind of a sound reflection from your room. It sounds a little bit harsher than the other one, but maybe it's because the gain might be a little bit too high. I think the frequency response might be about the same, but the other one sounded much more pleasant.
Okay. I just turned the gain down on this one. It was turned up awfully high, so maybe does that sound any different now?
Now it sounds that there's a little bit too much highs, and again, it does not sound as pleasant as the other one.
It's interesting. Okay, I'm back on the other one. This is the other one. That's the one I bought yesterday. The Silver Eagle with the Roger beep function. And there is a little bit of difference in the sound. I'm not sure why. Of course, there's no two D104s alike, I believe. So I'm back on the first one now. So anyhow, and now to answer your question on the video, yes, I did. I watched that as soon as I got it, and that came through real good, sounded good, and the receiver on that thing is very good. I didn't hear any selective fading. Of course, maybe there wasn't any around at that time, but it was really steady. But I think I'm the only guy that you recorded, so I couldn't really. I think maybe somebody else was on there for a minute, but I'm not sure. Anyway, sounded good to me, and it'll be even better once you get that NC300 on there with a bigger speaker and all that. That's going to really sound good. Over.
Yeah, and for QWF to you. Yeah, now you had selective fading on you. So you went into because of that, it sounded a little bit distorted at times as it was coming in and out. But yeah, I think this microphone sounds a little bit crisper than the other one. Yeah, I didn't plug any external speaker in this Kenwood transceiver. I was just using the internal one. Which I think sounds very similar to the ICOM. The ICOM maybe sounds a little bit better. Maybe. I'm not sure. But it's basically the same class. Interesting, the JRC, the internal speaker is not that good. It does not sound as nice as this unless I put an external speaker on it. The NC300 has a nice big bookshelf speaker connected to it with something like an 8-inch speaker in it with a tweeter underneath it. It's like a relatively substantial sound box, and it really sounds good when it's on. N4LQ, WF2U.
All right, WF2U, N4LQ. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, I was sitting here playing with the volume while you were talking, and it's lost its B+. I can hear the VFO. I got grid current showing, so that's the grid current is a function of the grid current for the finals, so that's there. I just don't have any B+, so there's no play current. So I probably lost B+ for some interesting reason. I'll have to figure that out. Probably, I was going to say a rectifier, but I don't think so. Got a couple of those 3B28s. Oh well, I think there might be a fuse in there for that. Anyway, I'll tear into it here before too long. I don't think there's much difference in these two rigs. This one puts out about, let me see, 90? Yeah, that's 93 watts carrier. And the Valiant puts out about 115 to 20. There isn't that much difference in power, in spite of the fact that the Valiant has the extra 6146, which always seemed a little strange to me. I seem to remember a Valiant that I had at one time that I was getting 140 to 150 watts out of it consistently, but the last one I had here, this thing just doesn't do that. I'm not sure why. And it could be some of the tubes are getting weak, but anyway, we'll tear into it tomorrow, I guess, and figure it out. That's the fun thing about these things. At least we understand them and can work on them. And the solid state stuff is beyond me anyway, as far as trying to troubleshoot most of this new stuff with the surface mount components and all the multi-function chips with thousands of transistors in each one of them. Anyway, looks like it's going to be down in the freezing tonight. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and clear out of here. I guess you're about, you probably got a few minutes more you could go, but the work is starting to stack up here on me. I'm going to have to take a look at this LASCO and see what's going on with it, and then check out the Valiant. So back to you. I'll let you go ahead and wrap it up. I don't think anybody else is going to join us tonight. WF2U N4LQ.
Yeah, very good, Steve. N4LQ, WF2U. I don't remember the schematic of the Valiant. I have to refer to it, but it stands to reason that they might be a fuse on the high voltage, and it might have been just something like I had, because I was worried about it not having high voltage, and then when I opened it, I think it's not original. I don't think originally there was a fuse in there, because Jim put a fuse housing right on the top of the chassis. I mean, it sticks out of the bottom, so he drilled a hole between where the two filter capacitors used to be, and he has filter capacitors now under the chassis, and in between sort of those two holes, he has a fuse holder. And I didn't realize that there was a fuse because I checked the fuse, the original fuse in the back of the apron of the chassis, and that was fine. That was the primary fuse. And then I found another two fuses in there. This one and another fuse that is in the high voltage itself, but that didn't blow. He has a high voltage fuse, like one of those long jobs on the clips, those big fuses that you clip in, and that's very strange, but he put that too, so that is okay. And it's only like the half amp that went to the center set of the high voltage transformer. That was the one that blew. So I have no problems now, and I made sure that the antenna is connected and everything. It has the proper load on it, so the plate current is not going to exceed 500 mils. Right now it's loaded for AM. It's about 240 mils according to the manual, and on CW it's 250 mils, so that's exactly how I set it. So yeah, I'll go in, and actually I have a little chore to do before I let the dogs out. This is going to be like in the 20s. I have to put those covers on the outside faucet that come out from the crawl space through the foundation. through the concrete, the concrete wall, right under the shingle, and actually the siding, although they are frost-free faucets, like those very long stems, about a foot long, that extend into the cold space, so it's not exposed directly to the cold. But I still like to put those covers, like those foam things that you clip onto the faucet, and then keeps it away a little bit from exposing itself to the cold air. There is some air insulation in between, so I have to put it on 3 faucets around the house. So 73, have a good night, and we'll chat during the whole transnet. So I'll be interested in listening to your recording. I might just wire a D104, because all I need is a 1/4-inch stereo plug, which I have several, and I have a couple of D104s without any connectors. So make sure that the one that I'm going to put the connector on, the plug, is working before I do it. 73, have a good night, Steve. It was fun. And 4LQ, this is WFP. Good night.
Okay, sounds like you got your work cut out for you as well. So, yeah, well, at least the part of the Valiant works, and part of the Lasco is working. It's just the modulation. It's got this really bad hum on it. I suspect it's something to do with the microphone circuit, so I'll take a look at it first. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the net, 73, and thanks for coming by tonight, and looking forward to hearing the DX100. I'll record that as well so you can listen to yourself. WF2U, N4LQ.